12 Things We Loved About BTS's Mic Drop Steve Aoki Remix MV. Big Hit just released the MV for the remix version of Mic Drop featuring none other than EDM and DJ world titan Steve Aoki. As if the original version of Mic Drop wasn't enough to impress fellow musicians, music fans, and of course rec ARMYs around the globe, now there's an even more epic version of all the Mic Drop badassery. Rapper and hip-hop producer Designer, who makes people dance just by talking, features in the digital single version only. So if the MV version wasn't enough to impress you, who are we kidding? Please check out the digital version of Mic Drop. You will not be disappointed. But enough talking about the details of the song, we're here to talk about the MV. The things we loved most about the Mic Drop MV, aside from the incredible song that still has us in shock. Here we go. Soompi. Display. News. English. 300 by 250. Mobile. English. 300 by 250. ATF. BTS in a hip-hop concept MV. Sndarmy is my life. We were all blown away by RM feat. Whale and Change and of course Suga's August DMVs. Not least because it felt like seeing one wild Suga in its natural habitat, but, even though we got a taste of it and not today, it's been a while since we've seen BTS as a whole in a badass hip-hop concept MV. From today's point of view, their beginnings as a hip-hop idol group may look a bit awkward to new fans regarding the styling, but they hereby successfully brought it to 2017. Cookment. The MV starts with Steve Aoki waltzing into the room, putting on some headphones, and starting the beat by pushing play. BTS appear in an interrogation room behind a glass. From that moment on, the setting switches several times, showing a jail, a surveillance truck, an ambulance, burning cars, and several other details. The plot is not as clear as in other MVs you might have seen, but it seems BTS have done something wrong that got them into trouble. Cookment. In some scenes, you can see people flying through the air who later catch on fire and are probably supposed to symbolize haters, but might, on a second thought, also symbolize ARMY. You know, because of all the comebacks, MVs, and just the general ARMY lifestyle that comes with a pinch of suffering. We are kidding, of course. But we'd lie if we said those burning people and car wrecks didn't look a tad relatable. Nimibskost. The MV flows along with the song so perfectly, you might have just missed some of the visual effects going on. Take for example the gunshot-timed appearance of Rapman and Jin, or Jimin and Jungkook drifting away in slow motion while dancing behind Suga. Not to forget the countless match cuts, which only worked due to BTS's choreography being so incredibly on point. Everyone knows that the members are of course what make a BTS MV so special, so here we go for the impressions of each member sorted by their respective parts in the MV. J-Hope. Confenso Fashifangirl. Hobi opens the song with his rap part, which is honestly just and to say it in Eunice words, J-Hope. A lot of fans have been waiting for Hobi to get a little more time in the spotlight, and by opening Mic Drop the way he does, has raising the anticipation for his mixtape to almost unbearable levels. Oh, and the dancing is obviously amazing, but it's J-Hope we're talking about, so that's really a given. Suga. few humans. We absolutely love the turn step move when Suga appears for his rap part. We will also absolutely not talk about how he looks very fluffy for the first few seconds. Mr. Badass himself owns the place every time he's on, and please a moment of silence for all Suga fans, because he himself is already a force to be reckoned with, but Suga with a bandana is just deadly. Sug. You know things are getting serious when not only one but several members of BTS are wearing a bandana. Fans still remember the legendary red hair blue bandana look from that one fan meeting, and for this MV, the magic formula TX bandana headband worked out just as well. Yes, at this point we could also write about how good he looks in this MV in general, and the credibility he brings to the table even though he's also lovable TD with a weakness for dogs and just everything cute, but we're desperately trying to keep this professional. Jungkook. Not Yui. This might not be as much about the MV as it is about the song itself, but Jungkook obviously improved his English so much, we just had to mention it. It almost seems natural to Mr. JK. And even if he may be channeling Baby Cookie just a tiny little bit when he wears that black sweater with the white print combined with his black bowl cut, his moves and vocals sure show how much he's grown up. Jimin. Tank Top Tigger. He probably still insists that his infamous undressing only his shoulder move is unintentional. So, very unfortunately and equally unintentionally Jimin, again, has a little wardrobe malfunction, which leads to the exposure of his shoulder. Jokes aside, it's almost unbelievable how perfect Jimin fits into a very badass hip-hop concept when he's actually not even a rapper. At this point we're wondering what can he do? Rapman. Rapnamu. This article is focusing on the MV and is therefore not meant to address things like Redman's incredible rapping skills, but it's not like there's nothing to say about the visuals of BTS's leader. Blonde has rarely ever looked that good on anyone, and honestly, that curly hair and whoever was in charge of their styling for this MV must have had a weak spot for Namjoon. Jin. Sukjnis. He might not be exactly the center of attention for this MV, but, after being car door guy, and the third guy from the left, he might as well become biker jacket guy after Mick drop, because his visuals in the black and white sequence really are no joke. The editors probably decided to make it black and white because in color, this would have been too much to handle for the viewers. Barry 852. We all know the, not so, official 8th member and visual of BTS is of course Hitman Bang. But Mr. Aoki does a pretty good job at giving this ensemble just the right amount of beard. On a more serious note, he is not just incorporated by showing him full screen from time to time, but also by adding him as a giant looming presence into the black space above the dancing boys. The effect makes him seem like a puppeteer controlling BTS, which sure makes for one of the most memorable shots of the MV. How did you like the MV? Are you still alive out there, eh? Why? Tell us in the comments. Daisugunzo is still very much in shock. All she has been doing since the release is listening to the digital version, cursing from time to time, and trying to focus on writing an article. Follow her on Instagram to see how she copes with the emotional stress.